G'day guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reviewing the Geelong and Brisbane preliminary final. The Cats are into the big dance for season 2022. Come on boys! Oh, so exciting. What a game, what a time, and a relatively stress-free preliminary final, which I'll definitely take every day of the week. And yeah, what an amazing performance by the Cats, and could not have really done too much more to ensure that they've got as much confidence going into the one of their biggest games of their lives. Yeah, with their performance, obviously, over the Lions, which, as we see, Geelong by 71 points. I hope my voice can hold up for this one. Obviously, at the game last night, which was brilliant to go and see, and the crowd was up and about, 77 plus thousand fans, which was terrific to see. So many fans at the game, and the noise was next level. So, yeah, remarkable performance by the Cats. Just absolutely, putting Brisbane to the sword, who were ultimately pretty brave going into the final series and won a few finals. Got over the line against the Tigers, as well as the Demons, who, yeah, definitely had their issues in the back half of the season. But, yeah, credit to the Lions for making it to the preliminary final, and just so stoked that Geelong had the professionalism to, not worry about, the buys and things like that. And one game in 27 days, whatever they come up with. But, just so professional the way they went about it. And, yeah, just an excellent four-quarter performance overall. And I suppose going into the game, I was thinking, well, we're probably the best team in the competition, if not close to the best team in the competition. Brisbane, have beaten two sides that have been probably a bit 50-50, especially back half the year. A good win over the Tigers, obviously, at home, but they have lost a lot of close games. And then, obviously, from Melbourne's perspective, they didn't put Brisbane away. Brisbane was super brave, hung in, and one of their best wins in a long time. First time since 2014 getting over the line. But also accounting for the D's, probably done that a fair bit over the year of getting 3-4 goals up. And Brisbane were just way too tough in that second half to, ensure that they got over the line. And, Demons' form in the second half of the year was pretty average at best. So they were kind of limping in, and Brisbane just made them pay, and ultimately got themselves an opportunity. And they've come up short. They definitely had the game going on their terms early on in the piece. That clearance game, we couldn't quite get our hands on the ball. It was all Brisbane at the source early on in the piece, and that obviously gave them field position and put our backs under pressure, and they kicked a couple of goals out of it. What I was so impressed with was, whilst Brisbane had felt like they had the game on their terms, we somehow kicked 4 goals on the night in that first term, and were able to sort of tick that scoreboard over whilst we weren't playing our best footy. And I thought, well, there's so much room for improvement, and we're 14 points up. Imagine what it's going to be like when we start, getting the territory and winning the territory battle, locking in our front half. But it was off the back of some great pressure acts from the Cats players and taking some big moments. Going into the game, I was thinking Brisbane's going to have another performance of a decade to win. And I thought, well, the chances of that happening are unlikely, especially considering they had their best win in years over the D's, kind of like a little bit their grand final last week. But it was either going to be that they had all the, momentum behind them and, riding this wave of emotion, or, sort of just spent from their efforts over the last few weeks. And that can happen from, like, when you sort of play elimination and a semi. It's very hard to go 4 weeks in a row non-stop. But part of me was thinking, if we can kick a goal in the first 2 minutes of the game, I think we'll win. Just knowing full well, if we settle early, the main thing with finals with us in the past has been just being overwhelmed and overawed by the situation and not really being able to be settled enough. And by the time we do settle, the game's done at quarter time in games in years gone by. although we're able to sort of, Paddy kicked a goal within the first minute, and I thought, if he kicks this, we win. I sort of said at the game jokingly. It was obviously a great start and a massive confidence builder for Paddy and the team. And, we were able to sort of create some of those turnovers in our front half, which we've been terrific at all year. Just being able to, ensure the opposition doesn't get easy looks out of D50 and, try and make them bite off the risky kick, and we're really good at turning it over there and being able to score on the other way. The commentary around our turnover game is we're the best team from scoring from turnover as well as mitigating the opposition scoring from turnover, and I think Richmond may be the other team that did that in 2019, and they won the grand final by over 80 points. So that's not to say that's happening for Geelong, but as far as how good your game is going and having that in really good stead, massive vote of confidence for the Cats. So, we did allow Brisbane a little of that easier ball movement, not as much pressure on the ball early in the piece from us. We did adjust, especially after quarter time, and it was kind of ironic that our second term we were absolutely all over Brisbane and ended up with less score on the board overall. We kicked 3-5. I suppose, a few more scoring shots than it felt like. We could have almost put the game to bed at half time with, Hawk missing a couple in that second term, as we saw. And, he had some, pretty easy opportunities. He normally kick. He had the yips early on, and thankfully he was able to readjust and amend his kicking after half time. And loved it when he had that shot from the pocket. I thought, well, he's not high on confidence, and he is, funnily enough, for a all-time great. He's a confidence player, but I knew that one from the pocket. I thought he loves him from deep in that right forward pocket, and he was able to bend it back, and that definitely got the Cats faithful up and about also. But from the second term onwards, really four-quarter performance. Sort of that first half of the first quarter, Brisbane probably had a little bit of the game looking how they wanted to look. Players having a little bit of freedom, and they were able to sort of move the ball and cause a little bit of chaos in our back line. And they obviously got a few goals off the back of that, and some good ball movement, which we know they can do really well, especially when the source of that is from a clearance. Their clearance game is pretty strong. However, after that quarter time, we're able to sort of ensure that Brisbane weren't able to sort of exit stoppage easily. We started winning that contested ball, which was awesome. And, we were able to make life really difficult, move the ball really, dynamically from, D50 to our forward 50 on several occasions. And, just winning key contests. I think, there's definitely some really good contested marks throughout the game, and just our run and dash and spread. Our handball game was in really good order. The pressure lifted, as I mentioned as well. And that third quarter was just absolutely, they call it the premiership quarter, and that was one for the ages. When you kick 11 shots in a third quarter in a final with 7 goals was, absolutely put the game to bed, and it was brilliant. From the team there to just be so strong and resolute down back. Even when Brisbane did have chances, moving forward, we were just so rock solid and just so self-assured down back. And we were seeing intercept marks from Stewart, Zach Guthrie, and these guys. Henry, I thought, was really good in the intercept mark game as well. DK did his job. I'll mention there's a few players there. There's going to be some interesting reviews, but. Pretty steady as she goes in the final term. We still hit the scoreboard with 4 goals, and just took it nice and easy towards the end, trying not to get any injuries. And Joel Selwood just going in like crazy, but he found a way there. And Brisbane they got a little bit more on the scoreboard late when we sort of parked the bus a little bit, put the cue in the racket a little bit. But it was a powerful performance, and. To be able to keep Brisbane, who was such a high-scoring team, to less than 50 points in preliminary final, and then not only restrict them to such a low score, but then for us to be able to cash in on those turnovers and be able to sort of whack 120 points on the board, 30 scoring shots was nothing short of brilliant. So that was kind of how the game panned out. Yeah, Brisbane probably allowed us some luxuries with us moving the ball, especially as the game wore on, and they were kind of thinking, oh, it's getting a bit hard. This game's getting a bit tricky for them, and they kind of allowed us, to not as much pressure on the ball carrier, so we were able to sort of pierce through, their zone, and we're able to, once again find some really good opportunities with, Cameron, Hawk, and Rowan, and these sorts of guys up forward. It was bizarre that, Cameron, we had 14 goals on the board. Cameron had not kicked a goal. It was just unbelievable, and just such a pleasing aspect of not. Jeremy Cameron doesn't have to kick 6 in the final for us to win. And he just plays his role, and he eventually hit the scoreboard with a major, but it wasn't on the back of him to have a massive game, and Hawk definitely chimed in as the game wore on. The stats are going to read pretty well when you win by 71 points. So what do we get? We've got 65 more disposals, outpossess the Lions, which definitely makes sense. As a result of that, nearly 60 inside 50, so that's probably about our average for the year when you get that kind of supply, and 1 out of every 2 shots. That's the thing with Brisbane. Their defence is a little bit leaky and probably not as strong overall, and we've got a forward line that functions very reasonably well, and some stars up the forward, and we're able to sort of keep the Lions to under 50, so not as many opportunities. And out of that, they got 14 scoring shots out of 46. So again, just such a great effort from the midfield to be able to pressure that, and the back line to be able to mitigate further scores off the back of brilliant pressure. From a disposal efficiency perspective, we were able to, again, that 75 is massive in a big final. Brisbane just a bit under 70, and that efficiency inside 50. So often I see Geelong at around 50%, and so often I see the opposition between 30 to that 35% mark, which, if you're scoring 1 out of every 2 and the opposition's 1 out of every 3, you're doing something right, and that's probably going to help you win more than you lose. Free kicks, Brisbane got a few luxuries there, but that's all right. Some of them were there, and some of them Charlie Cameron, you might have the softest free kick of all time and get a goal, but that's all right. The hitouts were even Stevens, clearance game. Brisbane got the job done there, and from the centre clearance, especially early, they had a bit of control on that front. Around the ground, 28 the Cats, 26 the Lions. Contested ball, +8 for us, and on the outside was where we were able to really cause some mischief and, not help the Lions' case out at all. So very good on the outside there, outnumbered significantly. What's that? 53. From the turnover game, well, Brisbane obviously, you suspect, has more turnovers. And that's really as a result of great pressure from the Cats, and Lions trying to bite off a few kicks, and Geelong just being all over stuff. So it's great. Over 100 marks, which is always a good marker for Geelong. 15 marks inside 50. Again, just a magnificent effort up forward. I think it was 5-2 in the first half, Cats' way, and then definitely opened up in the second half as did the scoreboard. Contested marks, really good aerial dominance by Geelong there, and as we know, in front for the whole game essentially. Brisbane out-tackled by 3, but if we have a look at the disposal, I think it was 65 more touches for 3 more tackles. You suspect that they should lead the tackling front. Not that they didn't work as hard as the Cats, but they were caught second to the ball. Definitely is a game we're on, because we were second to the ball early on in the piece, in all honesty. Tackles inside 50 again. This is a great number to have. I think... average around that 9 mark there, so that's really good. And if we can replicate these types of numbers next week, it's probably going to be 15 to 20 next week, and hopefully that's the case. Then if you can get your ball in your front half, it's easiest path to goal. So that's where you want to keep it. 8 bounces for the Cats, lots of run and dash. Usually not the way they go about it, but excellent work there. Lots of 1%ers. Excuse me, and interchanges all above board. The votes were incredibly difficult, and there's almost need a 5-vote system. But I mean, if you're not a good team, if you're not playing well, or you're not a good team, you're picking 5 players, it's almost difficult as well, especially if they're from the same team. Coaches' votes picking from 2 teams. I'm picking from 1. And doing the 3-2-1 system, I like the Brownlow. However, 3 votes goes to Paddy Dangerfield. What a performance. 1 for the ages for Paddy. He kicked 2 goals, 28 disposals, 9 marks, 8 clearances, and a goal assist. Nearly 3/4 of a kilometre gained. He was outstanding. Right from the get-go, he kicked that goal early on in the piece, which was monumental for the confidence. And, yeah, he just looked by far and away the best player on the ground. He was absolutely, on fire, a beast in the contest, and all this resting and, not rushing him back in and making sure that he's right. This absolutely perfect, recovery and decision-making from the coaching team and Paddy himself to varying degrees, and just getting him right for this game and, ensuring that for next week he's going to be at his absolute best, which is what we like. And he's had some lean preliminary finals, that's for sure, and qualifying finals, but absolutely incredible performance from Patrick. Oh, the 2 votes. I'll go Tommy Hawkins. It was a bit of a enigma in the first half. He had an interesting one, but he ended up with 4 goals. Probably, when the game wasn't really on the line, but he was a big presence and a big part of ensuring that we're able to get through. But he kicked 4. Could have had 8. 5 marks, 4 tackles, and got a goal assist in there as well. Just a big presence once again. Eventually got his confidence up and about, and just a great marking target. Keep Andrews accountable, and ensure he's not dropping off intercept marking and the like. So that was my 2 votes, which again very difficult. And the 1 vote, and it's different when you're watching at the game too. I feel like it can be different than watching on the telly. The 1 vote was really difficult, but I've gone with I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with Brad Close. I felt over the course of the 4 quarters he was on fire. He kicked a goal. He passed so many off, as we can see. He set up 2 goals directly and would have had so many score involvements as a result of his influence. 22 disposals, he was super clean, a couple of tackles in there and 4 clearances. And then the stuff that doesn't get on the stat sheet is just like all those contests he halves, all those times he brings the ball to ground, and then all those opportunities where he just brings his teammates into the game. Super selfless, and I thought he did that over the course of the entire match, and that's why he got a vote. There's definitely some players there that go, oh, come on, mate, what do I have to do? But you get a vote. I felt like, his influence was great. I'm going to be watching the replay soon, and then I'll probably have some humble pie with getting the votes wrong. But off face value, that's who I feel were 3 of our best, and there's definitely a lot of players that were great as well. Let's go through those. Mitchy Duncan got 26, 10 marks, 4 tackles, got a goal assist in there as well. Relatively clean throughout the night, and always a good leg driver for us and good use of the ball, so he did a great job. Zach Guthrie was brilliant again. Excellent qualifying final when things were, the chips were down, and when the chips are up, he kicked a goal late, 19 disposals, 7 tackles, which is excellent, and such an assured mark. Got a goal assist in there as well. He doesn't mind a long kick inside 50, almost 500 metres gained. Blitzar's game was really, really good. He had 19, 20 hit-outs, 7 tackles, 5 clearances. Just did his job really well. Just giving us coverage around the ground, and he doesn't mind pegging it forward, and he's just really does that really tough stuff that doesn't get a lot of statistical analysis. Love the way he goes about it. 2, he got a bit of the ball, and he got 24, 10 marks. He got a few marks underneath the belt there, a couple of clearances as well. Cole Jasny, best game of the career. He was brilliant. He had 23, 9 marks. I couldn't believe it. I was so nervous about him playing, and especially from the injury he had, and he got a tackle in there as well. But he was just taking the game on. He was running all over the ground and taking marks and spoils and everything. Chris, you've got onto something here, mate. Cole's best game in a preliminary final. You would not read about it. Brilliant performance from Cole Jasny. Did not think I'd ever be saying that, but well done. Graham Myers, I wanted him gone at quarter time. It was so frustrating, but what a brilliant response after quarter time, and that will give him, great confidence that even if it's not going his way, if he keeps at it and keeps doing the things that the Cats need him to do and performing his role, then he's able to respond, which he did well. 2 goals, 22 possessions, and 3 goals. SG, he's probably thinking, Dice, where's my vote? Statistically, a great game, and chiseling kicks everywhere. If he has a good game next week, look out. Joel Selwood, one of the best 12 possession games you'll ever see. He kicked a goal, 6 clearances, just especially early, and also goal assist in there as well. Kicked a nice goal later on in the game, but his performance was awesome for a 12 possession game. Just under 70% game time as well. So resting him, really well and methodically. He was just a messiah in the middle. He was great. Did his job really well, and gets to play his 40th final, all going to plan next week, which beats Michael Tuck's record. And I don't think I can categorically say that's never going to be beaten ever again, given how many games Michael Tuck played 426 games, I believe. And Selwood, that just can't be beaten. That's like 13 or so years of finals, playing 3 finals plus. Never going to be beaten again. So Joel will be immortalised as the most finals games player ever. It's going to stay that way. Cam Guthrie, he got 21 disposals, kicked a goal assist. How good's that? That's how good Guthrie's going. A couple of clearances. Went about his business. He might have been a bit accountable for Lachie Neale and just sort of, ensuring he doesn't get off the chain. Played his role pretty solidly and didn't play a lot of game time when you look at that. So 21 disposals across that. So just really, really smart resting those midfielders, ensuring they're not in there all the time. Isaac Smith, pretty quiet game. Kicked a couple of points. Didn't have a lot of it early. I think he had 2 to half time or 2 to quarter time. Can't remember, but they sort of I think they put a bit of work into him, and Smithy worked his way into it, and gave us a bit of run and carrying, a bit of drive as he does. Atkins, well, I wouldn't say it's quiet at all, but quiet from a possession standpoint, but an incredible 10 tackles from the man himself, 4 clearances. He was largely responsible for Neale and did an amazing job just quelling his influence, keeping him to 20 disposals. And that was the thing going into the game too, guys, was, keeping Charlie Cameron and Neale, like the only 2 guys that could have given them a chance to win. They had to play games of their lives, and not days of their lives, by the way. We were able to put in measures to ensure that wasn't the case, and we just did our business. We found a way. Tom Stewart, so excellent performance from Tom Atkins. Great role, and hopefully, he can replicate similar next week as well. Tommy Stewart, really good game. Didn't get stuck to the ball, but he was a rock down back. Took some crucial intercept marks as he does, contested marks. 4 tackles as well. He was really good there. Nearly 500 metres gained from only 15 touches, which is brilliant. Loves moving the ball forward, takes the game on. Jack Henry's game was really, really solid. He had 9 marks. Once again, down back, he was as confident, just about as confident as we've seen this season. And, he's had a really rock-solid season, all accounting for injury and the like. Tyson Stengel, what a game he had. He had some brilliant highlights, some lovely snaps, and threw in some nice banana as well to kick a ripping goal as a result of that. 10 touches overall, and got 4 tackles. Just great pressure again, and played excellent game. Max Holmes was he was superb. One of our best players. In the first half when the whips were cracking, kicked a goal as well. 12 touches. 2 goal assists, probably one of the best 12 disposal games you'll see as well. His run and carry and dash and his ability to hit up targets was great. Jeremy Cameron, so yeah, he went off injured. Hopefully he's okay for next week. I reckon they'll do everything they can to get him up and about. But if not, they might sneak in Sammy Menegola or someone of that calibre. But praying for Holmesy to be okay, because his growth has just been huge for us. Jeremy Cameron, well, I don't know if you call it a quiet night, but not as damaging as he has been, but still, again, just takes one of those real key defenders. Kicked 1 goal, 12 touches, and what he does with the ball and the scoring involvements he gets, got a goal assist as well. Could have kicked obviously 2 or 3. Had he kicked a touch straighter, but he was obviously really, really good. Stanley relatively quiet. 18 hitouts, 9 touches. Did his role. Probably not his best game of all time. The Big O did all right in the middle, but I feel like Stanley would have had to have been thoroughly beaten to exercise Segler. I mean, Stanley's no shoe-in for the grand final, but you'd suspect that's where he'd be in the team next week. Gary Rowan was, it was an interesting tale once again. Sort of beaten early on a few marking contests, but the credit to the man to find a way to go, no, it's not on my watch. I'm having an impact, and he ended up with 2 snags for the game, which was great. The 10 touches as well as got on the lead there with a few marks. Payne was a bit of a pain early on for Rowan. He was able to, again, readjust and ensure that he was going to have the best influence. Really good contested mark, 20 out, and a piercing goal from 40. Then we move on to Jed Buse in game 150. Congrats, Jed. 10 touches. And got the 4 marks as well. And just really good run and dash off the back line. Got a tackle in there as well. Played a good role for us, as he does week in, week out. And did a good job. Sam De Koning had the 7 touches, 4 marks. I'm not sure if he was on Hipwood or Danaher. It was hard to say. But he got outmarked a little bit, I felt. But again, I don't think there was anything too concerning. And if anything, he might have stopped a Hipwood kicking 7 if that was his direct opponent. It was hard to tell at the game who he was on all the time, but just such a rock for us down back. I kind of jumped on as a sub, got a bit of the ball, got the 5 touches, didn't get stacks of game time, got a clearance, but his work was all pretty good from when he was on the ground after Holmes was out and about. Boy, take a deep breath after that one. We're now playing either Sydney or Collingwood. We'll know in a few hours' time. About 5-6 hours' time from time of recording this video. I suspect Collingwood will win. Not Collingwood. I suspect Sydney win at home. Collingwood will take it right up to them, no doubt about that. They're definitely a huge chance to win that one and pinch that from Sydney with the opportunistic way McRae and his side have been playing. Who would I rather play? I don't really want to get consumed by the Collingwood crowd. Sydney's crowd might not be as daunting, and maybe we can get a bit subdued by the crowd. We played Sydney a long time ago. Not sure how that will go, but we did play Sydney back in round 2. Buddy got off the chain, kick 4. We didn't have DK. Stengel had a quiet game, and I think Pratt close kick 4. So it was an interesting game at the SCG too. So we're at a neutral venue. I feel like we should win. We should probably go in as favourites. Sydney will present its challenges. Either way, we're going to be up against 2 of the best pressure teams in the comp, and that's not going to allow us to get 71 points up. I wouldn't have thought. Brisbane allowed us some luxuries there, and it's going to be it is going to be an absolute grind next week, no matter who we play, because these 2 sides love a grind. But hopefully these sides can bash each other up, and a few injuries would be nice, but we'll see how it all pans out. But I feel like Geelong are as well placed as they can be to go all the way in the big dance. It's going to be a massive game. Hopefully I can make it there. We'll see how that all transpires. But that's it, guys. So Cats are through to the grand final. Super exciting. Cats by 71. in the prelim over Brisbane, and we've reviewed the prelim of Geelong getting the job done in a massive way, as I said, by 71 points. Guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe away, all that amazing stuff. Stay tuned for the grand final tips coming up soon as well, and stay tuned for the grand final review. Hopefully it's a positive one. We need it. We need it. So it'll be the Cats' 6th grand final in the last 15 years, I believe. 07, 08, 09, 2011, 2020, and 2022. So 6 grand finals the last 15 years. It's been a long, long time and a long build-up to get that elusive premiership over the last 10 or so years, where we've been really, really good and really close to the best, but haven't been the best. Let's be the best next week. Let's bring it home, Cats. Come on. I'll see you guys on the next video.